Yeah, you
Yeah.
can see the screen.
Great. Okay, right. So we'll start then, yes?
Yes.
Fine. Okay, well, the first thing to say is that as far as the front end of this website and this software is concerned, you can have any look and feel and branding, colors and so on that you want. And I'll quickly just show you. I mean, this is our development site. Here is another version that we've got, which is a completely different look and feel. Here is another one that we've got, which again is a completely different look and feel. And finally, there is another one here, which is completely different. So I just want you to bear in mind that whatever you see here is very flexible in terms of look and feel at the front end. Okay, so we'll start. Oh, wait a minute, I'm getting a message from someone. Is that somebody? Oh, Akhil and Rupal are not in the call. Oh dear.
Rupal.
We don't know which one it is, which ID it is there. That's the problem.
I think it was Route 2030, was it?
No, that was.
Well, Akhil is showing us away now, not showing it online. The actual Akhil Skype ID.
Not the client, the actual Akhil. The client was using his login.
Well, that's showing us away now and not online. Rupal, which one are we talking about there? I can just try and add that one to the call. Very confusing with two different Rupal.
I don't think Rupal is in.
Okay, well, I'm just trying to add the one that's not in back into the call. Why is the Akhil Skype ID showing us away?
Yeah, we're trying to, Lena, we're trying to add Route 2013 now. I just saw your text message.
Routes 2013.
It needs to be added.
Well, one of the Rupals is showing us completely offline.
Well, that must be 2013.
Yeah, that to me is showing as offline. What about you?
I don't have that.
Oh, you don't have this.
No.
No, so that one seems to be offline, and the Akhil one seems to be showing away. The status needs to be changed to online.
Lena, I don't know if you can hear me, but it looks like the Route 2013 ID is now showing offline, which we can't connect with now.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to go into the Skype status and change it to on.
Lena's typing in now, so obviously can you hear me?
Yeah.
Please add Route 2013.
What is this, a new Skype ID or is that just a typo?
I don't know. Lena, is that a typo? Or is it 20130? Yeah, 203. Oh, please add Route 2030.
Yeah, that's the one that's showing as offline. So you can't add someone who's offline to the call. Yeah, that one. The status on that one needs to be changed to online. And what was the other one? The other Akhil Skype ID is still showing as away, and that one, the status on that one needs to be changed to online.
She is online, apparently.
Well, the way to cure that is to sign out of Skype completely, close Skype down, and then reopen it.
Lena, can you get Route 2030 to log out and log back in?
Well, not even log out, but close Skype completely.
Shut it down completely.
Yeah, and then reopen and log in.
So exit Skype and reinitiate.
Guys, this is Sharad. I'm using Roops 2030. So do you want me to?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, you're online. Okay.
Yes, I'm fine.
Okay, fine. So which?
And Steve
I think
is
somebody else is trying to.
It must be the Roops. Very confusing. 2013 then. That is the one that's showing is offline. The trouble is, on my Skype, it only shows the actual names. It doesn't show the Skype IDs unless I can change that in settings. Let me just...
Yeah, no, I can see 2030 is on the call now, and as the voice just said.
So it's 2013.
3 is not
which
on.
is showing as offline. So whoever is on that one needs to be changed. I'll send a message there.
Yeah, it needs 2013 needs to be added. The 2013 is offline, Lena. We can't do it. So we need 2013 to exit Skype and try logging in again.
Sorry, I'm just putting the instructions. Right. Okay. Should we continue in the meantime, or should we just wait to get this all?
Well, we need to get 2013. Oh, please start. Okay, so we'll just carry on. Okay, everybody?
Oh, it says we're out of the call. Wait a minute. Ah, right. It's showing us online now. Right. Okay. We can. Yeah. Okay. That's sorted it. So I'll add that one to the call. Very confusing having two different Rupal Pandias. Go by these here. Right, I'm trying to add that one to the call.
You just see the names, not the ID numbers, do you? Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
Tim.
confusing.
Tim, I added already. Root 2013 I added.
Okay, and so
Yeah.
is everybody on
Is
now?
Devon here?
yes, I am in.
She's online, so
Okay, so is everybody?
looks like.
I'll continue then, shall I?
Well, we need to make sure who's there now, so you can see the screen. And is Akil on there? Akil, are you there? No, it looks
Okay,
like
Sharad,
Yeah, I'm here, guys. I'm fine. Let's continue. Yeah.
All right, we'll continue.
We'll continue, right? Okay, fine. So, yeah, we just covered the basic look and feel and so on. So the next thing to show you is what is our software. Obviously, this is hosted in a sort of generalized website environment that is a content management system called Joomla. And so Joomla, it's an open source software. It provides a lot of the function that you need just to run a website. But it also is the host for our software, which does the whole job of peer-to-peer. So what I'll do is, rather than show you website stuff, is show you particularly the peer-to-peer stuff. And so what you see at the top then is is a generalized menu, into which we put some of the functions of the peer-to-peer. We'll start just by showing you the loan requests, this is the open, free, we call it the bidding market. It's rather like eBay. It's run like an auction. a reverse auction actually, but I'll explain what that means and how it works. So here we see, and can everyone read all the small text? That's the next thing to check.
Yes.
Yeah, because I've expanded the browser here to 135%, but I can go up more if you can't.
I think it's okay as it is, Tim.
Okay, so what you see there is 5 loan requests. Actually, I put them all in this morning earlier on because we didn't have any in there. This is our development system, so this is all test data, so don't look too closely at the actual data itself, but I'll talk you through how it works. So you see various loan requests here in different stages of their funding. So if we take this one by blogs being the user. Now it's worth saying that this whole system works on a basis of anonymity. When people register and log in, they nominate a username so that nobody ever knows the real identity of any of these participants. It's basically all done by username, and usually we put some sort of note in registration saying do not give away your identity when you create your username. So we have this loan request here by someone who's called themselves Blogs, and it's they want a car, they want the loan to buy a car, 1,000, showing 48 months at the term of the loan. Now we've got 2 interest rates showing here. Oh, hang on, someone's just texting me a message. Are we still short of someone? Include 2013. This is the other RuPaul identity. Click add to call, but I thought that one was already there. Okay. Shall I continue?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, everyone is in.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, and you have 2 interest rates showing there under that
Yeah,
column that shows
everyone in.
target percent. Sorry, was that a question? No. And the target percent and offer percent. Now, when the loan request is created by the borrower, they put in what we call a target rate, which is the rate that they're prepared to pay for their loan. And so it just shows that it doesn't have any particular significance other than, and the lenders can completely ignore it when they put in their bids. And so, and then the other interest rate that's showing under there is the weighted average of all the bids so far on that, which shows that it's 10.4%. So let's actually have a look at the detail of this. Oh, it shows a progress bar then of how far through the funding you are. And then finally in the last column there's how many days this is going to be listed and how many days we have of time left. So if we open up the actual loan request to look at the detail, we always have a similar sort of presentation here, which is designed to give all the information that the lenders need. And you'll see that there's a tab display under this title, Need a Third Car. That's the sort of title of the loan request. A little excessive, as I say, don't look at the actual data itself too much. And then we have a tabbed presentation that shows different tabs of information, all of which are useful to the lender. And then on the right-hand side, there's this column that shows some details of the borrower. But again, it's nothing to give away any identity. It's just the username, when they registered on the site, and then some ticks to show that they've been ID verified, credit referenced, and risk assessed. And then we have this credit scoring, which allocates some stars, which is sort of easy mechanism for the lender to understand, which shows the credit score out of 5 stars, the affordability, and we do calculations on that to see whether this borrower can actually afford the loan, and then stability, which is more sort of lifestyle type measures, number of perhaps job changes, number of resident changes, and other things like that. And so those are the ratings. Now, I'm not sure that you can actually see this, but there are tooltips on all of these. Can you actually see that? Mark, are you seeing that?
No, the tooltips aren't coming up.
For some reason, this particular screen, it doesn't show those tooltips when we use Skype, but others they do. But these little icons after the words provide a tooltip that explains precisely what each of those are. So let's just go through what you have on this front screen is the top level stuff that we saw, in fact, on the listing screen. So it's saying the loan amount here is 1,000. They want it for 48 months. Target rate of 10%. For the purposes of buying a car, the progress through the loan is 40% funded so far, so 400 out of the 1,000. And the average rate, this is the weighted average actually, rate is 10.4. And then how long there is to run on this particular listing. Then the second tab shows, well, generally it's more information here, but what one asks is for the borrower to describe their financial situation so that the lenders understand. Now, because this is a test system, it forces you to put in a minimum of 50 characters. So most of what we do when we're testing and putting these loans in is just quickly put in 50 characters only, and that's it. But that generally would be a bit more information there. Then we have existing loan information, if there are any existing loans. I might be able to find one that does have it in a moment. But and then monthly income and expenses type information, which is all useful for the lender. And each of these expands out into further sort of drill down details. Then the next tab gives us the list of the actual lending offers, and this is organised initially as an ascending interest rate. So you see it starts at 10% here, there are a lot of 10%, and then it goes up 12%, 12.5%, 13%. And generally bids are added there, offers are added there until the thing is fully funded. We'll have a look at a fully funded one in a minute and explain how that works. And then at the top here, there's a little legend that describes what the ticks and crosses, well, there aren't any crosses on this one in the status column, but I'll show you one in a moment. Then there's question and answers. Now, the lenders can ask questions of the borrowers. It might be about their financial situation or about the loan purpose or whatever. And these are visible to everybody. So when a question has been asked and a borrower has answered, they remain there. Unfortunately, this one isn't showing any. And then finally, there's a notes tab, which is these are notes from the platform operator. So if the platform operator wants to say anything or annotate the loan in any sort of way, that's their opportunity to do that. We'll quickly look at the one that's fully funded here, because there are some interesting things that happen once. As I say, I put this loan in this morning, and it's funded through automated lending while we've been getting things together. So what you see here is interest rates starting at 8.4. In fact, let's have a look. The target rate on this was, interestingly, 8.5. So some lenders are actually bidding less than the target rate there. And then you see the ascending interest rates as I scroll down here to 9%. And so on. But if you look in the last column, you'll see that the status changes from a tick, which means that loan part is fully within the auction so far. Then when there's a tick with brackets around it, that loan is part within the auction and partly out. So that 140 might be, for instance, 100 within the auction, but 40% of it, £40 of it, 40 of the currency, has already been bumped outside it.
Sorry, Tim, I need to interrupt for a second. I just got a call from Akil.
Yes?
He's on the 2013 ID and he can't get in. He's going to log out and try to come back in it again. Do you see him online or offline? I think it's Akil and Rupal are on the 201.
Well, Akil ID is...
Oh, no, not the Akil ID. He's using Roops 2013.
Right.
The Akil ID is used by the client.
Okay, well, both of the Roops ones are showing as online. The Rupal Pandya, which is, I think, 2013, is still not adding to the call. I mean, if you like, I can terminate the call again and then restart, see whether we can get everybody in.
Is that okay with everybody on who's on that right now?
Well, do we take that as a yes? Right,
Go
okay,
ahead.
look, I'll quickly terminate the line and, oh, wait a minute. He says I am again logged in. Now, I'll terminate the call then and I'll restart it and hopefully everybody will be in then.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, that's looking better. We've got more showing up this time. I'll have to do the screen share again. Just wait till everybody's on.
Right. We got 2030. We got Tripathi. Waiting for 2013, Lena, client 174, and Akil.
Right?
Yes, I'm.
Okay.
I see you're there now, are you?
Yes, yes. We are here. Me and Rupal are
Okay,
here.
great. We're now waiting for Lena, client 174, and the Akil user ID. Using Akil's account.
They're still dialing or trying to connect. Now the Akio one is still showing away for some reason.
Lena just connected.
Okay, we've got Lena in now, yeah. Akil now, that one seems to be connected. Oh no, it's gone.
Gone.
It keeps dropping, that one. I think it's because it's showing the status is away. That one needs to have the status changed to online.
Looks like client 174 is struggling to join now too.
Okay, so client 174 is now struggling to connect. Wonder why that is, because that one was okay before. Is that connected now?
No, it just dropped off.
No, it's there.
Client 174 is there.
Ah.
Oh, client 174, do you
Oh yeah, there we go.
enable video?
Okay, yeah, but disable the video because the bandwidth usage is too much.
The video is turned off.
Okay, right. Oh, so you're there now. So I think we've got everyone, haven't we? Yeah.
I think so.
Okay, so I'll resume the screen share.
Yeah, let's carry on where you were up to.
Yeah. Okay, you should all have the screen again now.
I can see it. Can not everybody say if you can see it or not?
All good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, well,
Okay. Marvelous. So where we were was the sort of tipping point between those in the auction and out of the auction, and then looking at the status column with the crosses beside it. These guys have all been bumped out of the auction because their interest rate bids are now too high. What happens is if a lender comes in and underbids, so for example at the moment the highest bid that's in the auction is 8.57, it'd only be being partly in. So if one bids anything like let's say 8.53%, then they will bump out the higher interest rates. And so this is how this reverse auction works. And in fact, all this was going on automatically earlier on using the automated bidding process. So that describes really how this reverse auction works. And well, are there any questions on that? Because I'll move straight on to the next important point. But okay, right. And now on credit referencing, we talked about this this column on the right. Now, the way that this works is largely automated, or can be completely automated, but it also can be a manual or offline process. where you do your credit referencing and then enter the details into our system. However, we have fully automated it in terms of what we do in the UK. But generally, these things need to be localized. So what happens is a completely automated process where when the loan request comes in, we basically click a button and it collects all the data that the borrower has put in with his loan request. It also it puts that into a credit risk decision engine. It also goes to the credit referencing agency, picks up all that information about the borrower. It goes to 2 or 3 other databases that we use, like the fraud prevention. There's a UK database that we access. There's also a loan performance database that has every loan that has been written and so on. So all of these different databases that are available within the locality would be used to credit reference the borrower. And then that information is used, obviously, to present, well, it's summarized in this way that we've shown you here, to present to the lender. Okay, so there are other front-end facilities. Briefly, just to show you, for instance, there is a calculator that can be presented in different forms. A lot of people use sliders to represent the amount to lend or borrow and the term. But these basically calculate and show the returns. There's also a similar one for the borrower. You can put in different amounts and try different terms, for instance, and see what the rates come out at, or the APR, the annualized rate of cost to the borrower. So those are the sort of generalized facilities that are available to a guest user. Bear in mind, we still haven't logged into the system. These are just general things available on the website for anyone to look at. There's also one other thing, I don't know whether this is of particular interest, but we have what's called a secondary market. Now this is a market whereby the lenders can actually sell their loan part if they want to. If they want to, say, realize some money, or they don't want their money tied up for the full term of the loan, let's say 5 years or something, they can then sell their loan part on this secondary market. And this shows the details of those loans. Each one has a more information, less information, a button here to click, because there's quite a lot of information one has to present. The original loan and then where we are now in terms of how much has been repaid and so on, and the various rates. So those are the facilities that are available to the guest user. So what I'll do now is to actually log in, firstly as a borrower, and show you what you see there. So let's just quickly go back to the home page. Now I've got this thing you're probably seeing which has lots and lots of login details, but this is so that it makes it easy for me to log in quickly rather than type key stuff in. So now we're logging on as that borrower called blogs we looked at before. So what you see now is a specialized page for the borrower once they've logged in. And of course, the first thing to say is, because this is a development system, a test system, I'm going to show you something which is a sort of fairly unrealistic view, insofar as this borrower has lots of loans in all the different stages of loan life cycle. However, in a real situation, you probably would only have one loan request or loan per borrower. So you are seeing perhaps oops, sorry about that, my phone, I'll just turn that off. You're seeing a view that shows an extreme situation of lots and lots of things happening at the same time here. So the first thing is that borrowers always have some actions required at different stages in the life cycle of their loan request or their loan. And this one's showing a lot of different actions that are required, because he's got loans here where he's had a question asked, he needs to answer. He's got a loan that's in arrears and he needs to make an immediate repayment, and so on. There are different things here. Right at the bottom, there are various tests and checks that we run to check things like that the bank account that they may be using is in fact their own bank account that's under their control. And we also do things like testing that they do actually live at the address that they've given as their address. We have a lot of ID fraud going on at the moment, and it's these sort of tests and checks that actually weed out those sorts of problems. So that's the home page for the borrower. So what we'll do now is look at the borrowing account, which is really where all of the important stuff is. Now you'll see again, when he goes onto his borrowing account, we don't let him forget the actions required, and so they're repeated there so that he can work through those and deal with them all. But what we'll look at next really mirrors the life cycle of the loan request. And what you have at the top here is a panel showing loan requests awaiting approval. Then you have active loan requests. That means that these are ones that are currently funding. Then you have the current loans, or loan. And then you have completed loans. These are ones that are being completely repaid. And at the bottom there's a summary, overall loan details, which is actually summarizing everything above there. And then you have a few more things that show things like any loan requests that have been declined. Declined meaning that the borrower has declined them for some reason. Or rejected loan requests, which means that the administration or the platform has rejected the loan request. It could be because of credit referencing or anything, other reasons. And then at the bottom we do have a quotation system so that the borrower can get a quotation. In other words, he can find out whether he is going to be rated as credit-worthy enough to actually apply for a loan. So those show all the different stages. Actually, on our latest software, we have one extra stage, and that's right at the front, whereby the borrower can fill in his loan request in stages, and he can save it, and then come back and continue it the next day or something. So we're not actually showing that one on this particular development system, but there is that. So probably the one to focus in on, these top ones are awaiting approval, because they're the ones waiting for the platform approval administration. The active, current funding ones, like the one that we just looked at, this is the borrower's view of what's going on. He can, of course, just look at the front end generalized view without logging in and see what's going on. But here there's a specialist display which just shows the headline details and then who has a bid on that particular one so far, or what offers have been made. Now then you have the current loans. Ah, wait a minute, someone's calling me. Oh, sorry, just someone's calling me. I'm just going to say can't talk now. Okay. So let's have a look into one of these. With a little bit of luck, whether I choose one that's going to look good or not in our development system. But this one I think is okay. Yes. Now this is the actual detail loan display for the borrower. This is a single loan, ID 21. You've got some basic information there, the date on which that loan was dispersed, how much it was, the loan period in months, 48 months, the interest rate, the nominal interest rate, and then the APR rate, the total amount that's been repaid so far. Now we do have a compensation fund feature within this software. This is a fund that we build out of contributions from both borrowers and lenders that is supposed to insulate lenders from the risk of default. So we build a fund that's bigger than our expected default rate within the platform. So for example, if our expected default rate is 1.5%, we build a fund of say 2%, and we hope that works out and that reimburses lenders who do suffer a default. That's what that compensation fund contribution is. Now it's worth saying all of these things that I'm showing you are configured in the back end. We'll come on and show you that in a moment, because there are lots of settings whether you want the compensation fund or not, and how you want it to work and so on. Please, if there are any questions as I go, just give a shout and I'll try and stop and answer them. But otherwise, I'll just press on. What you have next in this display is a panel showing all of the details of the lenders in this particular loan. And here there are about, what are they, 10, 12 also lenders and the size of the part that they've lent on that, their own particular interest rate, and then the principal repaid, interest paid, at the remaining outstanding, and then if there are any arrears or lateness, it would be showing in this arrears column. And then finally you have the contract, the loan agreement between that particular lender. So if we choose this one right at the bottom, we've got it's lender 3. So here we have a contract that's between lender 3 and the borrower of blogs. And so this is the actual legal agreement. Again, it shows using the username here, so there's still anonymity, but our regulators here in the UK insist, obviously, if they want to look into something, we have to be able to provide the actual name and address of the user behind that as a sort of regulatory thing. Then you have all the details of the loan and then the terms and conditions, which is the legal agreement. So these can be reproduced and printed out or whatever. Then the next panel is the installment panel. Now this shows the actual situation. And again, I apologize, it doesn't show a realistic, well, we hope it doesn't show a realistic situation. Because this is a development system, we don't really put through repayments unless we're testing things in particular. And so what happens is these all go out of date and they go into late and arrears and sometimes default. And then because we're doing a demonstration, we quickly put in some repayments and try and get it up to date. So what you're seeing here is payments missed and then paid up and then missed and so on. So there's a huge long list here. But ultimately, I put through some repayments that oh, not on this one actually this morning, I see. It was, I did on some others, but this one was up to date pretty much. So it's showing OK is the final status. Now, if for some reason repayments are missed, there is then a manual repayment mechanism. It's worth saying that all of our payment systems can be run completely manually, or they can be run in a very automated sense, because we have a lot of interfaces with different banking systems. Each one is different. They're not too different because it's roughly the same data. So we can construct a banking interface to whatever system is being used in whatever bank. So those are the manual repayments. Then we have things like you can make a charge if there's a failed direct debit. Now, generally we collect repayments from borrowers by direct debit, but it can be done in other ways, just allowing the by-standing order from the borrower and so on. But direct debits is the best because it's controlled by the platform. But if, of course, you can charge a fee if those direct debits fail. I mean, for instance, we are charged a fee by the bank in the UK, so we pass on that fee to the borrowers. And this shows a situation where there are quite a few fees outstanding. As I say, this is sort of test information. Then also you can charge, if you want to, interest on late repayments. Again, this is configured in the settings. Interest is calculated throughout the entire system on a daily basis, and this late payment interest would be appended to the account every day. You'll see there it goes into 4 decimal places because you're sometimes looking at quite small amounts. And then finally, you have the original repayment plan, which shows this is the actual schedule of repayments that was agreed right at the start of the loan. And you'll see a lot of these are greyed out, which means those are the repayments that have been made, and then the bit that becomes white is what there is still to happen in the future. And so this is a, what was it, a 48-month loan? Yeah. So finally, at the 48th payment, it would be repaid. And then right at the bottom, we have we call it the loan account statement. It's like the bank statement for this particular loan. So all of the movements on this loan are shown within this account. Any, the interest that's going to be paid. There are memo accounts here as well as the real accounts, direct debits and credits. And it shows any repayments made, the amount, principal and interest that is embedded within that, and so on. Every form of movement on this account is shown here. And ultimately, this will come down to 0 when the loan is repaid. Finally, again, this is we have to do this. The banking system the demands for direct debits in the UK that you show things in a particular format. So basically, we're just showing the repayment schedule here in the format that is our UK direct debit friendly fashion. Okay, so those are the key points on the borrower account. So if there are no questions on that, is everything okay on that one?
Yeah, fairly straightforward. Yeah.
Yep. I'll move swiftly on.
Okay, please move.
Yep. I'll move swiftly on to the lender account, and we'll log in as a lender. Lender 2 is one I usually use. Let's test system. It's a little slow sometimes, this system, because it's on a shared server, being a development system, and there's a lot of work probably going on at the same time. So some of these screens are taking a few seconds to render. Now in a live system, they would be all of them virtually instantaneous. So it's not a realistic response you're seeing there. Now the lender home page is slightly different insofar as what we do is try and show them a summary of all their lending activity. So it shows the total funds, the amount that's available to be lent out, how much has already been lent out, any amounts that are pending. Now pending includes amounts that are being offered at the moment, amounts we use the term in processing, which is that period between the borrower accepting the loan and the loan actually being dispersed to the borrower. That period could take up to 2 days or something like that. So for various reasons. So we put that in this pending process as well, or any amount that the lender has requested to withdraw from the system. Once a withdrawal, once a withdrawal request is made, we lock those funds until it's approved at the back end of the site. One moment while I take a drink. Sorry, too much talking. And then we have a little pie chart that shows the same information basically by